Alright, welcome to what could potentially be the first video of a series of many videos. This is our trailer breakdown of Back 4 Blood, which is essentially the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. And it's a game that's really exciting, and we just figured why not give our opinions on what we think is going to happen in the game based off the trailers. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Alright, already some interesting information. So it looks like this, this virus is actually a worm that comes from someplace like Antarctica or something. So it lives in a cold area, or at least was frozen in ice. Alright, so as you can see here, it comes to Quebec City. So that's in Canada, Quebec. It was brought down from wherever the worm came from down to Quebec for research, as we see. Where it then infected its first person and traveled downwards. Okay, so right here, I just want to... I'll just rewind real quick. Okay, this is kind of a blurry shot, but as we can see, these infected, these commons, as I'm assuming they'll be, look very different from how they looked in Left 4 Dead 2. Of course, this isn't a direct sequel, but it is kind of a spiritual successor. They kind of have this, they look deformed. Like in Left 4 Dead 2, the commons actually, they looked human. They had gray skin and like white eyes, but they still looked human. These kind of look a little alienish almost, Of course, that's disgusting. Okay, Turtle Rock Studios, of course, we know is the studio that made the original demo Left 4 Dead 2 before Valve picked it up and then made it into the game that we all know and love. Alright, we've got our 4 survivors here. Turtle Rock sticking with that tradition of having 3 male and 1 female, I see.
There's too many! Stick together. We got a job to do. Remember?
No worm-ridden son of a bitch is gonna stop us.
Alright, so that's a very interesting line. They say we have a job to do. Now, to me, that means that they've been hired, or they're at least trying to do something, a job to do. So maybe they're trying to find a cure, or maybe they're trying to just clear out as many commons as possible. But that line, we've got a job to do, it signals something. It means that they have a task. The survivors in Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 were just trying to get from point A to point B and not die, but they seem to, a job. There's something, seems like they're trying to do something, which is interesting. Awesome Molotov. I hope they look like that in the game. Alright, here we're introduced to our first special infected of the game. Now, as we see, it has 4 arms, which is nuts, which means that the mutations in this game, already we can tell, are above and beyond what they were in Left 4 Dead 2. No one sprouted like extra limbs in Left 4 Dead 2. They were all deformed, but no one had 2 extra appendages. And also, see how this infected is jumping around kind of like a hunter? And there's the really, really cool thing is that it kind of acts as a spitter, except it gets you stuck, which could be really dangerous if you ever get stuck inside a horde and get stuck. That could be very, very crazy. So it's kind of a hunter-spitter combo, which is really, really cool. Alright, so it looks like you're going to have to go help him out. So that little jump there makes me question, would it also be able to like pounce and attack people, kind of like a hunter, except with the 4 arms instead of just the 2? And also, if we go back to where he's untying him, we can see like this. Okay, first of all, if we look at his feet, they're all covered in this disgusting gunk, which might be from the the web, but I don't know what this is. Maybe that's like some thing that'll grow and cause more damage. I'm not sure. But as we can see, this other survivor here is trying to help him up, and I'm assuming that'll kind of be in the same vein as Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead, where you have to go up to someone and actively help them. But while that's happening, you can get attacked, and plays can be made off of that. All right, here we meet our first very interesting special infected. See, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, of course, this is the tank. This has to be the tank of the game. It's huge. It's massive. But as we'll see later in this trailer, it's not quite that. Now, a few things to point out about its design. It has like multiple faces all over it. It has like 3 inside of its body, and then its head. And its head looks like its brain is just massive. It just bulges out of its skull. It's just very disgusting. But so there we see it's actually like a boomer. What we assume to be a boomer, that could be like noxious, spitter type thing. We're not sure, but as we see there, it explodes. So that's very boomer-esque.
Oh man, this is my favorite hoodie.
A little club soda will take that right out.
Watch out.
And this trailer just gets crazier and crazier as we see here what looks to be this like 20-foot tall charger. So once again, those mutations are going absolutely crazy in this game, growing people to be like 20 feet tall. It's nuts. But it looks like instead of running and grabbing and slamming, he just uses his hand to smack people, which is interesting. Once again, this isn't even the tank of the game. We'll see that when we move on to the actual gameplay footage. So as you see there, a horde got summoned pretty soon after that boomer character got exploded. So that's another hint towards him being a kind of boomer-esque character. And there's the logo, and that is the moment that I shit my pants. I kid you not. I was watching the Game Awards with my friend, and I absolutely lost it. Seeing all those infected, I was just like thinking, like, is this Left 4 Dead 3? And then I saw the name, and I was like, oh, it's not it. But then I was like, wait, Back 4 Blood? It's exactly the same thing. So despite this not being actually Left 4 Dead 3, it is its spiritual successor, made by the same company that made the original. So in my opinion, this is Left 4 Dead 3 until Left 4 Dead 3 comes out, and I'm excited for it. Alright, here we are with the pre-alpha gameplay. So once again, this is subject to change throughout development or whatever before this game is officially released. There's our new safe house door. Very, very exciting.
Ready?
Not one for speeches. So how about we just go kill some Rick?
Alright, one thing I'll note is already these animations are clean compared to the Left 4 Dead 2 animations. I mean, the Left 4 Dead 2 animations always had a certain charm to them, the way you reload your gun, but this is, clean. It reminds me of, more modern FPSs. It's really nice.
Ah, damn. Here we go.
Alright. So already we'll note that it seems more fast-paced. Just the shooting, the speed of it all. It seems quicker. I don't know. There's something about it that just kind of seems like he shoots faster. It's doing more damage. Also note the lack of music. That's a very interesting thing because the music was a main essential part of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. So. So right there we had some sort of special infected. Now I'm not sure if that was supposed to be the spider looking one from what we saw in the trailer, and it's, it just doesn't look as cinematic as it did in the trailer. But it looked like it threw something, as you can see with this streak here. It looks like there is something being thrown. I'm not sure quite what. Now, one thing I'll notice, as you see it with the gunfire, it has this very bright light. Now, I'm not sure if it's just because if it's like a nighttime scene, but you know that looks it's very stylized. You know, that's not how it would look in real life, and it doesn't look like that in Left 4 Dead 2. So that's very interesting to me how like bright those bullets look.
I got a bullet for you! And you! And you!
Another thing is how slow the commons seem to be. In Left 4 Dead 2, the commons are faster than you. They chase after you, which is why usually you're able to avoid them. But, you know, if they do start chasing after you, you have to take care of them because they will come behind you, smack you, and prevent you from moving. In this case, it seems to me like they're very slow, which is, I wouldn't say concerning. It is, I'm questioning how the gameplay will work in that, you know, with that. Now, right there, that looks like a special infected as well. It seems to have very large arms. Seems to have been targeted almost. It's running, as you see it running away, it looks deformed. It doesn't look quite like one of the other commons that we've seen. So I'm not sure if it's a special type thing or... Alright, so here we have that boomer tank that we were talking about during the gameplay footage. And it's huge. It's massive. I think it looks bigger than a regular tank proportionally. And yet, it dies, I'd say, arguably quicker than a boomer. It's insane. You'd think with a thing that massive, maybe it's just because of the guns that they have, but you think with something that massive that they would take a couple more hits than that. There's another one that died. Very quickly, might I add. Alright, now here we have the most what the hell reveal ever. This looks like the spawn of Satan emerging from the underworld. And this is the tank of the game. And this thing is enormous. This makes a regular tank from Left 4 Dead 2 look like a child, like a little baby plaything. One thing you'll notice is that it almost looks... Is this even a human? Or is this like a major worm or something? Because, you know, remember that those worms are the cause of the whole infection. It doesn't look... Like, the tank... You know, was deformed and massive and disgusting, but it looked human. You could tell that it was a human that was just twisted. But this thing looks like a monster from Pacific Rim. You know, it just looks like disgusting and gross. It seems scary to fight though. All right, so we're just killing some commons here. So it's able to tear, like break apart the map, which is insane. One thing I'm questioning is, will there really be a versus? Because a thing like that, that's just power beyond all belief. So there's that, like, it seems a lot less big in the game as opposed to the trailer, but there's that really tall Charger character. As we see, he smacked his hand on the ground and pushed this female survivor far away, which is quite interesting. It looks like his arm is a source of weakness, and they're trying to aim at it and explode him or something, which is interesting.
Do these guys ever take a vacation?
As you see, that big, scary-looking dude is coming after them. Quite scary. I'm honestly very stressed out with that. So yeah, as we can see, we can definitely see it's fleshy. It has this big red thing in the middle. So I'm wondering if those kind of big red spots have anything to do with like where you're meant to shoot at. That's an interesting mechanic. I'm not sure if I like it that much. Like in Left 4 Dead 2, you just kind of shot at it to kill it, but you know, here there might be specific points where you're supposed to attack it. So here, is this meant to be the safe room? I'm thinking yes, because of all the guns and things we see on the ground. Maybe not. It might just be the next part of the level, but as we can see, he got pulled out and eaten. So that is horrifying in it of itself. To think of yourself being pulled out of a room and being eaten in this game, that's horrifying. Nothing eats you in Left 4 Dead. It just beats you to death. Alright, so here we have just some more clips of the game. So this seems to be that same big boomer tank thing. And it seems to be leaping, which is very bizarre. I've never seen a boomer or a tank leap like that. Here's some more just footage of killing commons. there's that really big charger looking thing. Here's one of the levels, I'm assuming. There's that spider looking thing that we talked about. Very, very cool. Probably my favorite special effect to have come out of this trailer. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, here we're going. There's that spider thing, I think. So yeah, that seems to be the same thing that shot earlier in this video. There seems to be its web or whatever, looking very similar to the spitter. Yeah, I can't really see if it has 4 arms, but it definitely seems to look. Yeah, I think I saw a 4th arm there. Okay, that is something that's very interesting to me. Now, I cannot tell what this is. Okay, let's break this down. So, up on the truck, it looks to me as if we have that boomer tank thing, which means that this is not the boomer tank. This is some new thing. Over beside the truck, we have that very tall charger. But this thing reminds me of the scrapped special infected called the meat wall. It was a special infected, I believe, for Left 4 Dead 2. And it was meant to just be like something that would just, like, sort of like a tank, but just it would just be there and it would just absorb damage to kind of cover for other infected, which is a very interesting idea. But then after here, it seems to explode. Oh, you know, that's very interesting. It explodes, but right before that, it almost seems like it goes charging. So this might actually be something that, like, charges with its head, which is why it would be so, like, round or like so strong in its torso and then flimsy on the sides. That's how the Molotovs are gonna look. All right, and there's our logo. Back for Blood, June 22nd, 2021. There's where you can register for the pre-alpha. Already have registered. Me and my friends, we're excited. We hope that we can get it. And yeah, overall, this game looks very exciting. I'm hyped. I cannot wait. My friends cannot wait. We have all agreed, yeah, we're getting this game as soon as we possibly can. And it might not be Left 4 Dead 3, but Back 4 Blood is as good as we're going to get until Valve picks up the slack and gets to work. So until then.